What's up, YouTube? Today I'm going to be going over my Marine 1968 Hawaii City impression. I'm going to go ahead and go over the gear first, and I'll make my way up and so on and so forth. So here I have my I have 6 M61 ammo pouches. Really cool, originally made for the M14, but mostly used for the M16. But I got a really good deal on them. I bought them in lots, and honestly they're pretty cheap, just because they're really salty, I suppose. Yeah, there's that. 2 M61 or M65, or scratch that. 2 M56 first pattern canteens. Again, salty pair that I had to find on eBay. I only spent like $5 on this one and like 10 on this one, so really cool. Happy I got them. World War II jungle first aid. I got it for like around $10. Really happy. The wear and so on and so forth. Also, I think it's one of the really early versions that has the, I guess, color difference, you know, the nylon, not the nylon trim, cayenne trim or whatever it's called. So really cool. For Carlson first aid pouch with an original World War II tin inside. I'm not going to take it out only because this thing is super hard to take out. Like, I've tried multiple times, and I can't open it one-handed, but just take my word for it. There's a World War II tin in there. I have my K-bar. This is just a modern K-bar with, I guess, the black. I do plan on removing that eventually. I did stain the sheath black with the leather dye, and I left the other side brown because that's actually what you see with a lot of originals. And the reason for that is because the black dye would actually rub off and go on your pants. So that's something I did, and looks pretty cool. I have the M41 suspenders kind of hidden between everything. I have a grenade pin just to keep them together. These are 67 dated. I think that's backwards, but just take my word for it. Yeah, there's that. And then I guess just to get it out of the way, I have my bandolier with airsoft mags / cardboard, 73 dated, but you know, you can't tell the difference. Here's my M41 haversack, completely emptied. I'm going to be going over and showing you guys just how it looks packed and pretty much my setup alongside an alternative setup you guys could use. But yeah, I'm going to do that real quick. So here are the rucksacks you would see in Hawaii City. You have the M41 haversack with a wool blanket tucked underneath the 2 straps, alongside with a poncho on top. You do see Marines without shovels. That's a very common thing, but you also do see them with shovels. Pretty much just kind of keep your packs bare bone, really simple, and I guess you'll be able to pass off a rucksack impression. Here's the Arvin just with 1 canteen. Most Arvins I see are just super bare bone, like I said, but I have seen one with a shovel on top of it, alongside with a wool blanket kind of tucked underneath everything. You could swap out the wool blanket with a poncho or something like that. The reason why you see wool blankets is because either Marines were issued the poncho liner or the wool blanket, so that's why you kind of see the wool blankets kind of floating around, but you know, there's that. But yeah, here are the 2 rucksacks. Okay, so underneath the haversack I have a towel, and then underneath the towel I have an ERDL poncho liner. So I'm going to talk a little bit more about that later on, but that's pretty much what I got going on there. I'm going to start over to the right. So here's just my extra equipment. I have 2, I believe they're M26 grenades. I think that's the name of them. But I have 2 of them. These are the correct grenades for Marines in Hawaii City. You don't see the M67 grenades because obviously they weren't really issued out by this time. Yeah, there's that. I have my bayonet. I only really use this for my 55 flak. Next to that I have my bipod cover. Bipod's over there. And then just my poncho liner underneath everything. Next to that crap, I have 2 socks, 2 pairs of socks, my utility cap, my U-collared t-shirt, and then my just standard t-shirt with the correct collar, and then my M65 field jacket. I think that's what they're called. You do see the M65s in Hawaii City, but you don't see them in combat, if that makes sense. You really just see them when guys are either wounded, actually, or just chilling out. But yeah, there's that. There's my M16A1 with the bipod. You do see the bird cages, and you do see the bird cages in Hue, but they're relatively new, so not extremely common. It's like half and half. Yeah, and then I have a general purpose strap just to be kind of different. Here's my mess kit, pretty cool. World War II dated, I think it's 45. Then my utensils, my cup, World War II canteen. You do see Marines with either 2 of these or 1 of these, but most of the time you just see 1 of these. And then my Vietnam War dated canteen, I believe it's 64 dated. Yep, and it's named, so that's really cool. My Rothko boots that are super aged and weathered out. I didn't want to do this to original, I just wanted to do this to Rothkos. In Hue City, you do see a lot of Marines with salty boots, so this is honestly what they looked like. This is really spot on. I looked at a lot of photos, and this is just generally how they looked. But yeah, honestly, they looked like tan, like PTU boots. I think that's what they're called, but yeah, they honestly look like desert boots. But yeah, they're just super salty. And then I have the M17 gas mask. This is an M17A2, but I aged it to kind of hide that. But the correct ones are the M17A1. But yeah, there's that. And then my 1943 shovel and M61 shovel cover. And then pretty much my M55 flak with smokes in the pouch. A toothbrush. You see a lot of guys using toothbrushes to clean their M16s alongside with paintbrushes. And then just some pens or something like that. I have like pens for, you know, marking maps or whatever. Pens and pencils. And then my canteen, not my canteen, my helmet with the mosquito net cover. These were made during World War II. There's such a big surplus of these things. On top of that, I'm gonna go over early chin straps, World War II chin straps. But as I was saying, you see a lot of these. They were made during World War II, used during Korea, and used during Vietnam, all the way to, I've actually seen them to 69. So yeah, there's that. You also see guys with the helmet bands on these, but pretty much this is the gear. I'm going to be going over alternative setups, so, you know, alternative gear and so on and so forth. But yeah, guys. Oh, also, this exact setup, the 782 gear layout, is based off an actual photo. So everything you see here is exactly how they did it in 1967 when they were landing, or they're prepping up to land in Hue City. I found the photo. I'll show you guys in like the corner, one of these corners. But yeah, this is the exact same layout. And then for the EDRL poncho, you see that poncho in that photo. So I assume they carried them in their M41 haversack. But yeah, guys, this is the setup. I'm going to go over personal items and alternative gear. Okay, so one thing I forgot to mention was the first pattern jungle jacket that I have. This is just a reproduction by Miltech. Really good reproduction. The only negatives are the buttons alongside with the color, but I've dyed it. I do plan on swapping out the buttons. The pants I have underneath are just modern BTU, you know, trousers, I guess. But I modified them by removing the buttons and did a few things. And I've heavily aged these just to make them look like they've been through hell. It's kind of difficult to show. If you guys can see that, hold up. If you can see that, you know, they're super aged. But yeah, these are just modern ones that I use as somewhat of a prop, I guess. So there's that. And then there's the hoodie that Marines privately purchased during Vietnam through the mid-60s, you know, 67, 68 is when you really see these. There's a couple of models of these. There's ones without pockets. There's ones, I believe, with pockets. The hoodies are different in some. The colors are a little bit different in some other ones, but pretty much they all kind of look like this. This is just a reproduction that I made. It used to be a Carhartt jacket. I think that's what they're called. But yeah, I just modified it quite a bit. If you want to make your own, I have a video on it, so check that out if you wish. But yeah, this is just something I forgot, and I realized that during when I was editing my video. But yeah, guys, see ya. Okay, so here's some of my extra gear. I'm gonna start off with the helmet, just kind of go around from there. So here's my Mitchell pattern M1 helmet with the, you know, the cover. bug juice, and then paintbrush. So the paintbrushes you see pretty commonly in Hawaii. A lot of guys, honestly, they just use them to clean their guns. I've actually seen footage of guys that clean their guns with these brushes, so that's pretty cool. Alongside with the toothbrushes, so that's pretty interesting. It's the most common helmet cover you see in Hawaii. However, you do see actually frog skin covers in Hawaii. You know, with like the helmet band and all of that, so that's pretty interesting. You see them with the beach side out alongside with the, I guess, the green side out. But yeah, pretty interesting. I would say you'd see them maybe like 3 out of 10. Sounds really low, but I would say, you know, the Mitchell was like 8 out of 10, and then the mosquito net's like maybe 6 out of 10. So it's kind of low, but not really low. But yeah, there's that. Ammo belt, you see alternatively, you see guys wearing those. USN parka. This goes by a lot of different names. They're called like pullover jackets. Other than that, I think they're just kind of called parkas. But yeah, there's that. I have one of those. You see Marines wearing these alongside with the privately purchased parkas. But yeah, pretty cool. M56 pouch. You know, M56 is pretty common in a way. You honestly see it 50-50 compared to the M61 ammo pouches, but I just use the M61 because they're a little bit more retro, and I don't know, I mostly use M56, and I just figured to do something somewhat different. So there's that. M60 bandolier, pretty common, not a lot to say about that. And then I guess an alternative to the third pattern pants would be the I guess utility trousers. I've seen a couple of guys wearing these, and honestly it's pretty cool. It's a pretty cool set of gear. And then I guess on top of that, you actually see guys with like cuff jeans and stuff like that, so that's pretty cool. And then I guess on top of that, you know, the pullover parkas, the one that I made, they actually made pants too. So Carhartt, the company that I bought the jacket from, they actually make coveralls. So I was actually planning on buying a pair of those and modifying them and stuff to make them look like the original pants that guys would wear in Hawaii City. But that's pretty interesting. But and then finally, or I guess one of the finals, is my pink angle light. A little history about these lights. These were made for demolition squads, and somehow the Marines and the Army got their hands on them. I don't know how. No one really know how that happened, but it did. And you see Marines pretty much early war all the way to mid-war with these. There is a Marine in Hawaii City with one of these, and I don't know, it's really cool. An original one costs like $300. They're super expensive and rare. This is just my reproduction. I got a post-war one, cut the guards off, and painted it pink. It's like a similar color of pink. But yeah, and then I guess finally, my wool blanket. You know, you see guys were issued these if they weren't issued the poncho liner. So yeah, this is pretty much the extra gear, and I'm gonna go over the personal items. Alright, so here's my personal items. I'm gonna start off with the left, make my way to the right. So here are some reprints of original photos, really cool that I have. These are all from '67, and they're all Marine, so that's pretty cool. Writing paper, letters from the '60s, toothbrush case, some toilet paper, alongside some Brill cream and toothpaste, and Tums, Kool-Aid from the '60s. This case is for like grooming items, you know, like nail clippers and that kind of stuff. Kodak 104 camera. A lot of grunts had these during Vietnam. Real cool. I don't know if it works. I haven't tried it, but yeah, there's that. M16 maintenance kit. I love the graphics on that thing. M16 20 round chew hoy bags, really cool. So guys would use, you know, obviously the guys would use them for the 20 rounders, but you know, personal items as well, just to prevent things from getting wet. Watch from the 90s, but it looks pretty 60s. Sunglasses, Chesterfield cigarettes, you know, 4-pack, real Vietnam. Spud Zippo from 1975, but it looks pretty retro. Retry harder pin, you see that on a lot of helmets. C-Rat accessory pack. It's opened, but there might be, I think there might be some stuff in there. I'm not sure. Some writing stuff. Razor from the 60s, real cool. Pocket knife, nothing much to say about that. Some C-Rat stuff. There's some cigarettes in here, alongside with like sugar and coffee and that kind of thing. Water purification tablets with some toilet paper, MRE toilet paper mixed in with the original toilet paper. Real cool. Some cord, I think it's called like 450 cord or something like that. This is like this is the type of cord they had in Vietnam. Extra helmet band with grenade pins, pretty sweet. Just I guess hippie necklace, and then a crucifix. There's that. A ball cap opener with like a small pocket knife. So that's neat. I have some cigarettes inside of a Chuhoi bag. Keep your shit from getting wet. C-Rat stove. You know, something commonly seen in, you know, photos and that kind of thing. Shampoo. Actually, this is mouthwash, my bad. So, you know, 60s dated mouthwash. That's pretty cool. Some insect repellent. You know, you guys have all seen that. Some brushes to clean the M16. You see toothbrushes alongside with just paint brushes, so that's real sweet. Pepsi can, you know, it's actually kind of convenient. I never noticed that, you know, but yeah, there's that. And then just a reproduction radio. It's new, but you know, looks pretty authentic. Then a Pall Mall carton. You actually see guys with these strapped on their rucksacks, so that's real sweet. And then you know, C-Rat box with C-Rats inside. Pretty cool. And I have a pair of socks and 2 bandanas. This is actually a bandage or whatever, but you know, guys should use them as bandanas. So there's that. And then here's my personal effects bag, and pretty much most of the stuff, almost all the stuff goes in my personal effects bag. But yeah, guys, that's pretty much the personal items. Hopefully you enjoyed the video, and I'll see you guys around.